Hi guys, hope everybody had a fantastic new year and a fantastic holiday. Back to work soon. Know that I want to remind you. So this is the final roundup for last week, coming in terms of the property market and what happened. Believe it or not, everybody thinks everything was shut down, but the reality is the Boxing Day bounce kicked in. A 230% spike happened on all the websites, and everything started to go crazy, and we started to get loads of inquiries. So I'll take you through some of the numbers for what happened last week in terms of the Fife market. I mean, on a weekly basis, it's not really that significant when you look at it. Over the Cooper area, the East Neuk area, St Andrews, Leadenmouth, Glenorchy, Kirkcaldy and Dunfermline. I mean, only 13 properties were really instructed, but 10 were sold. So we're going the right direction, but we'll look overall at the year in itself and what happened there. So for the full year, now this is according to Rightmove's numbers. So the number of properties that were instructed on Rightmove were 5,611. The number of properties that were actually sold by the end of this year, up till right now, is 4,961. I mean, you can see it all broken down there by region, but most importantly, the two regions which are kind of really doing well is the East Neuk, no surprise there, sitting at 120% of actual demand or supply, and the Leadenmouth area, which is now sitting at almost 100%, and Glenorchy is almost sitting at 100% as well. So that's quite revealing. So property prices will be maintaining in these areas. In terms of what happened in terms of us, we had 25 viewings booked in the last week and undertaken. We had 7 offers made. Yep, 7 offers made while everybody was quiet. 3 of them were accepted. One on New Year's Day, sold a house on New Year's Day. Always like to do that just to prove a point. And 3 of them are still negotiating, and 1 was actually rejected itself. So it shows you there's a huge amount of activity still out there, and the Boxing Day bounce is coming in. So really, it's a great opportunity to take advantage of the market just now with the amount of demand, and yet you can see by that numbers of what came on last week or this week just past, hardly anything came on. So the quicker you get onto the market, the better, because you've got a captive audience. There's still people out there, and activity is still rocketing up. We had looked at on yesterday's show in terms of the Boxing Day bounce. The Boxing Day bounce is more than double what it was last year, and the amount of people actually look on the websites. I mean, in one day, we were up to about 1,000 people on our website at one point in time. So let's look at these numbers in terms of overall activity and what we've actually looked at and where we're actually going. This is quite revealing. So this is our social media channels. This is another avenue. This is out with Rightmove, Prime Location, Zoopla, S1 Homes, and our website. This is the social media channels. This is where activity comes from in the year. So in the year, we were doing 12,000 posts in that year. We have over 6,500 people on our pages following us as a result. Therefore, when we go live with a property, that immediately gets put to them straight away. 53,000 engagements. That means every single week there's over 1,000 engagements on our Facebook and social media channels, and 40,000 click-throughs in terms of activity. This is outside normal traditional estate agency. This is another market entirely that we've tapped into as a result of what we're doing. So that's our Facebook social media channels. So we'll jump onto our Instagram pages. So, last year we just moved into Instagram television. So we've moved into that era and moved into that market as well. Another social media channel which is driving property forward and allowing people to see. This allows you to actually get to a captive audience at the same time as well. So you can see Instagram, towards on that graph towards the end of December, it's starting to spike up and jump up there. Well, that's because we're actually starting to push that channel on Instagram. So that's got a growing route to market in terms of the number of people that are actually watching video online now. Now, key here is they're watching video. Very few people actually go to read anything now and go to actually look at photographs. If video is there for them to see, they'll engage with it straight away. It is so emotive and quick and easy to watch. So let's jump on to our LinkedIn pages. Now, LinkedIn is predominantly for business. as most people think. But we've actually again moved into the LinkedIn market and created our own LinkedIn page. And you can see the activity in the graphs as we came into LinkedIn in terms of the August, September, October, November. You can see that graph now coming in, and the number of followers are actually beginning to grow in the LinkedIn market. Again, this is all business people. This is people with big money, money to spend, money to invest. They're looking for good quality houses, and they're looking to move to good quality houses. They're looking to move possibly from other areas into this area as well, and bring their wealth, for want of a better word, and their investment into the area. Now, that does not mean second homes, remember. That means they're looking to live here. Lockdown's taught us a lot of things, and I think we've discussed that in a lot of programs previously and prior to this. So then we'll look at our Twitter channel as well. You can see again, as we've moved into Twitter with video, that spike towards the end in the graph there, and that's now beginning to rise and rise. And, you know, last year we did 313 tweets. Basically, that's almost just under one a day. And we are growing in followers again. We've gone from a standing start up to 129 followers. Engagements, 144. The engagement is really important, and also important is the click. The click-through is important, because if people click on that, they're into our channels, they're into our system, they're into our sales funnel. Again, these are all routes to market, which are outside traditional estate agency. So we are capitalizing on these markets. And this is one of the big growth channels, YouTube. We have 40,000 views on our YouTube channel last year. 40,000 views. That's what we got. Over 1,500 hours were watched on our channel last year. In terms of that, again, it's a big growing market, and we can capitalize on that. So let's look at some of the analytics from there, the channel analytics. So we had looked at the reach. So we are reaching 121,000, and you could see it's going further and further in terms of analytics. And the audience levels, you can see there as well, it's split down. Now, this is by age group. This is by male and female, and also age group. 80% of our market is over 35 years old. So 80% of the people watching our videos on the YouTube channels are over 35 years old. That is predominantly people that are moving as first-time buyers, upgraders, and downgraders as well. So we are hitting a really good market there in terms of activity. Interestingly enough, when we look at the demographics of where these audiences are coming from and the reach, we've got an external reach of 67%. That's outside of normal YouTube. So what's happening there is we've got our videos embedded in certain websites and certain posts all over the Google and places like that as well. So that's where the external links come from, and it's 67%. YouTube channel direct, we're looking at about 12% in terms of activity. So there's a lot of YouTube viewers looking at our properties on the YouTube channels. So again, another one where we're doing personal property tours, talk-ups and walkthroughs, and they're all engaging with it. Again, it's another channel outside of the normal realms of traditional estate agency we're capitalizing on. No, there's no surprise. I mean, our audience has grown 100,000 in the last year. Over 100,000 it's grown in the last year. Now, we were at 200,000 at the beginning of the year. So we have actually grown 50% in that time in terms of the number of people. That's just coming to our website. This isn't taking into account this audience. And then finally, we'll look on this. This is very revealing. So this is the external sources on YouTube. This shows us, right? And we've got our videos embedded into Rightmove. We've got our videos embedded, same video embedded into our website, into Zoopla, into Facebook, into Google searches. And this actually shows us where a lot of this traffic's coming from. Now, interestingly enough, if you look at Zoopla, Zoopla is only 11.4%. And yet Fife Properties website is sitting almost at 24%. That means we are outperforming Zoopla. We are outperforming, our website is outperforming Zoopla by over 100%. That's amazing. And then you look at the comparable against Rightmove. Our website is equivalent to Rightmove as well in this area in Fife itself. When you look at that, that is a very powerful statistic to look at. So basically what it means is we're performing just as good as what a Rightmove website is performing. So we're getting the Rightmove audience, we're getting our own audience, we're getting the Zoopla audience, we're getting the Facebook audience, we're getting the YouTube audience, we're getting the Instagram audience, we're getting the LinkedIn audience, we're getting the Twitter audience as well. We're getting all these audiences looking at our websites and making sure that they're seeing your property. Isn't it any surprise that we got 7 offers in the last week when there was absolutely no activity from anyone else happening online? You can be as busy or as quiet as you want to be. That's really what it's down to. And that's really the statistics for this time. You know, I just wanted to share that with you because I felt it was important to show you that we have different audiences as well as traditional route audiences. And that's what gives us the wider reach. And that's what gets people's properties seen more and quicker. And we get better offers and better people. And often we'll get someone that another agent will never, ever get. Interestingly enough, the property I sold on New Year's Day, the person actually said to me, I saw the photographs and I saw the description first time round. And I wasn't interested. I saw your video walkthrough the day before and it made me lift the phone straight away. And I wanted to see the property. And once I'd seen it, the deal was done. The offer was accepted. The property was sold. What does that tell you? When you think about the logic of this, imagine if location, Kirsty and Phil's program was just photographs and a description. Would just as much people engage with it as they do in video? No, they wouldn't. So when you think about the logic, a video is essential to get into the property market and make sure you reach an audience which no one else is reaching. And that is the importance of video. If you want to speak about that more than happy to take messages later on. You can private message me here. More than happy to take information and take your inquiries, or you can call any of our offices or send any emails in as well. We'll always be there. We're always working in the background, regardless, night, day, and weekend. And until next week, guys, have a nice break, and I'll see you next week. Okay, bye-bye.